Good evening, Vande Matram. Welcome all of you. The topic we are going to discuss right now is the course of the priest. So, this topic we are going to discuss what really the course of the priest when he curses, when he cries to God. Actually, what is the inner logic behind the course? That's what we want to know. In Along with the explanation from Sri Aurobindo's thoughts and aphorisms. It is serial number 457. So Sri Aurobindo quotes, no doubt, starts the aphorism with this sounding. No doubt, when the priest curses, he is crying to God. When he curses, he is crying to God. But it is the God of anger and darkness. The curse is there, crying to God, it is no doubt of it. But it is the God of anger and darkness to whom he devotes himself along with his enemy. To the God of anger and darkness to whom he devotes himself along with the enemy. For as he approaches God, so shall God receive him. That is the great secret behind the cursing of the God. Again, I will try to quote it out. Normally, we know sometimes, not many times, but most of the times we find the priest is cursing, the priest is crying to God. This is the great scenario. Sometimes you see in the open. So, no doubt, when the priest curses, he is crying to God, but it is the God of anger and darkness. It is the God of anger and darkness to whom he devotes himself along with this enemy, devotes himself along with his enemy to the God of anger and darkness. For reason and output, for it is for as he approaches God, so shall God receive him. That is the main criteria, main event that is going to happen. Against Aurobindo quotes in next aphorism 458, I was much plagued by Satan. I was much more plagued by Satan until I found that it was God. I was confined in my thinking to the Satan, but thing is that when I grew in the consciousness, when my consciousness was enlarged, then what I found? I found that it was God who was tempting me. I found that it was God who was tempting me. Then the anguish of him passed out of my soul forever. As I was not aware, that time I was plagued by Satan until I found that it was God. When with the enlarged consciousness I could be able to know it was God who is tempting me, then the anguish of him passed out of my soul forever. It was not that with the mind, life, or body, it was the soul. It passed out of the anguish, then the anguish of him passed out of my soul forever. Not only one or day or for the time being, systematically and simultaneously, it passed forever. That was the boon because I was made conscious. Anyway, again, I hated the devil. So already we have known not to evade him because there is also the presence of the divine behind the devil, and of course it is also the dark consciousness which has surrounded him. Sri Aurobindo quotes here: "I hated the devil and was sick with his temptations and tortures." I hated devil and was sick with his temptations and tortures. And I could not tell why the voice of in his departing words were so sweet when he returned upon and offered himself to me. Because I found the evil in me. I was sick with his temptations and tortures. That's what I could not tell why the voice of the departing words were so sweet. Once again, I felt. I will try to come step by step. I hated a devil. I was sick with his the temptations and the tortures, so I wanted to get rid of the devil. But the thing is that it returned back with with so sweet voice. And departing words were so sweet. It came and approached me. Then what happened actually? It offered me. It was the sorrow I refused him. It was with sorrow I refused him because it was devil. I was tortured. I was tempted. So even though he reached with the temptation with so sweet words, I tried to come out of it. I could not. Actually, I refused him. Then I discovered that it was a Krishna, beautiful. It was my finding was there. It was a Krishna with his tricks, and my head was changed into a laughter. That was a great transformation on me. So beautiful thing has been described here in the course here. It was I hated devil because it tempted and tortured because I seek with his temptations and tortures. Then I refused him, and that time also it came approached me with his sweet voice, with the words that are so sweet. Still then I refused. Later, later with the enlarged consciousness, I could I discovered I could be able to discover that it was Krishna with his tricks. He is actually playing tricks with me. It was nobody, no one but Krishna. Then my head was changed into a laughter. That was a great transformation, really. Then my head was transformed, changed into the laughter, because thing is that continuously we can find it is the divine in form of Krishna or something, actually someone, but actually they are tempting. The reason is very clear, and we can be able to know that it is Krishna who is there behind all the tricks. He is playing tricks. That's what. Again, the next one we can find 460. They explained the evil in the world by saying that Satan had prevailed against God. They claimed, they explained, they were much more came approached me. They approached me with much more clarifications that Satan had prevailed over God. But I think more proudly of my beloved. Then actually I was not moved when they explained the evil in the world by saying, they explained the evil in the world by saying Satan had prevailed against God. It was their saying, they came, they explained, and of course they tried to convince me. But I think more proudly of the beloved. He is not Satan, he is not devil, he is not evil, but actually I was much more confident and of my beloved. I believe, see on the course again, I believe that nothing is done but his will. It is nothing that let thy will be done. Jatha nijuktosmi tatha karomi. Actually, let thy will be done. So I believe nothing is done but his own will in heaven or hell. His own will in heaven or will, no, hell, on earth, and also the waters. Nothing happens except or bearing his will. So even you can find the tree will the leaf will not fall down even without the wish, will and of the divine. So everything whatever is done, that is with through by and of the divine will. So that's what we must know. So whatever they say, they explain, it is only a part what they have understood. But I think more proudly of my beloved. Then we are going crossing for the next aphorism here. In our ignorance, we are like children, proud of our success in walking erect. See, suppose one a newborn child, it takes time, maybe months, to rise up, crawling, and of course they try to get up, and it takes time. It time actually after some couple of months they stand erect and learn to walk erect. walk straight. But thing is, in that time he is not that aware. This kid, it is not that aware. He feels it is my success. I am standing and standing erect and walking on my way. But if he can be able to know when his consciousness is enlarged, he is getting actually growing up, then he is able to know that it is not the one day or with his single attempt he has what learned to walk straight, erect, and walk on the road. So like this, here in the course that comparison is there in our ignorance. It is in the ignorance as the child explains and claims. It is in our ignorance we are like children, proud of the success in walking over and erect and unaided, and too eager to be aware of the mother's steadying touch on the shoulder. So when this child is claiming, he is proud that I have got the success of walking through and standing erect and walking everything of my own without without any added effort. Like this, in our ignorance, we are also doing the same. That we are also too eager to be aware, because we are unaware, too aware, too eager to be aware that the mother's steadying touch is on the shoulder. For with there itself is a human mother was there. In case of us, it is the divine mother whose touch is on our shoulder, with which actually we are also standing erect and living and of course walking on the track. As the children feels proud due to his ignorance, here is also ignorance. Same ignorance is with us. We are simply forgetting. We don't know what really is happening. We look back and see the God was leading and upholding us always. That's what we have forgotten. And when he grows up, the child also becomes able, becomes conscious that her mother or her father, somebody was there behind behind his success of working, standing up and working. Like this, it is our due to our unawareness. We feel we have got the success, but we have forgotten it is the touch of the divine mother on our shoulder who is made us this achieving this success of walking, standing, walking, and moving up. So here's here in the course here. See that God was leading and upholding us always. God was leading and upholding us always. That is the point of discussion, and that we forget as the child forgets. And even after child is getting growing up, he feels no, it was really a foolish idea and foolish thought that led me to knowing that I have achieved a success upon ourselves, bearing the help of my human mother. Like this, we have also forgotten. But thing is that that is the level of consciousness it differs. Again we are going at first, whenever I fell back into sin against during the course. At first, for the first time, when I fell back into sin, I used to weep and rage against myself and against the God for having suffered it. See, I fell into sin for the first time. That time, what I did, I used to weep, and second, rage against myself and against God. Weep and rage against myself and, of course, against the God for having suffered it. Afterwards, after some time afterwards, what happened? It was as much as I could dare to ask. Later, I was weeping and I had rage against myself and the God for having suffered it. Afterwards, when I became consciousness, that time after what happened? Afterwards, it was as much as I could dare to ask, why hast thou rolled me again in the mud? I dared to ask the God, why hast thou rolled me again in the mud? O my playfellow, O my playfellow, why hast thou rolled me again in the mud? That was the question I put to the divine. Then even that came to my mind to seem to hold my precious moss. I could only get the silence and look at him out of the corner of my eyes and clean and self. Question I asked, then remained silent. I got the answer, and it was I got up in silence and looked at him out of the corner of my eyes. I felt I am tearful, and everything is cleansed. There is no answer because everything came out of the ignorance. That's what I can remember. You know, So for that, actually, I need you do, no, I can reconcile here. I can just remember. I can just recall my quarrel with those who are foolish enough not to love my lover. My quarrel is with those who are foolish enough not to love my lover. Not to love my lover, they are taken me as the fools. Not with those who share his love with him. So, two categories of people who really share his love with the divine or the God. I have got the tremendous love for him. But with those who are not yet with in love with my lover, the divine, then I start quarreling with them. I have got my quarrel. So, Sri Aurobindo quotes, in those whom God loves, in those whom God loves, have delight. Two types of people here. In those whom God loves, have delight. On those whom he pretends not to love. Whom he pretends not to love, what you have to do? Take pity. That is a great aphorism from Sri Aurobindo, really. It is really enhancing, it is really accelerating, it is really accomplishing and solacing. So, great adventure in this discovery, in this discussion. So, naturally, will be um, very energetic to know how Sri Aurobindo has guided us to the supreme victory. Vande Mataram.